Everyone has a book inside them. The question is, how do you find yours? In this topic and in this video, I'm going to talk about how can you find the idea for your book, the idea that you already have inside. How can you bring it out? How can you share it? I'm going to talk about different tips and different points and 5 points that can help you in creating the idea or the goal for your book. Now, let's get started. How do you find an idea for your book? I mean, finding an idea is something that's needed in writing a book. I remember when I first started writing a book, or the first stage when I discovered, okay, I'm going to write a book, was that what did I want my book to have? As in, the question you should ask yourself is, if I have something and I want to share something, what idea do I have? What kind of idea do I want to share with these people? What do I want my audience to get after reading this book? It's not just only important for you to focus on, okay, I want this book out there. Who is it reaching? Are there people that need this idea? Are there people that will benefit from this idea? So you always have to ask yourself this question as to, what is the idea of my book? What is that idea that I carry? Because when you have that idea, then you can have a goal. And when you have a goal, you can have a blueprint. And when you have a blueprint, you have a guideline to writing your book. Now let's get straight into this video. The first thing we're going to talk about is you starting with what keeps you up at night. Now, I know that sometimes people think that the thoughts they have, and yeah, some people may have some thoughts that does not align to their book, but there's some topics that keeps them, that they're passionate about, that if someone asks them to talk about it, they know a lot about it. And it's so important that you understand this, because your idea of book is normally connected to something that stirs you up, something that moves you, something that emotionally gives you passion. It can be passion, it can be pain, it can be purpose, something that you can't stop thinking about. That's the first stage, or the first aspect of you figuring out or finding idea for your book. What is that thought that I think about effortlessly? If someone is to tell me to talk about this topic, or ask me to talk about this specific information, do I express myself way more better in this regular topic? So, for example, it can be a devotional, it can be a journal, it can be a book about self-help, it can be a book about healing, it can be a book about wounds, trauma, and so much more. So you have to ask yourself a deep question, asking, what is that idea or that thought that I can't stop thinking about? If someone is to ask me about this topic, all this information, can I share it expressively without feeling limitation? So that's the first thing to consider when you want to figure out and find an idea for you. But the second thing you need to do is the story. Your story, is it more than enough? Meaning that if you don't have an expert or a celebrity, or if you don't have anybody inside, does it carry weight? Do you think that it's something that people can relate to? And this is so important that you understand it, because sometimes people may have thoughts, but they don't know how to relate that story. So you have to ask yourself, this story I'm about to share, or I want to share, is it enough? Does it carry weight? Is it something that has value? You can even talk about your experience. Your experience is one thing that can help you in sharing content, people. You can talk about your transformation process, or how you were broken and then you found light. Make sure that your story is enough. It's expressive and it's something that you shared, because as far as you want to have that idea, you want your idea to be relatable. You want your idea to be able to help people. So you always have to ask yourself this question: is my story enough? And is it expressive? Does it share any information? Does it help people? So that's the second thing you need to put into consideration, is that as much as you have this idea, is it enough? Does it bring transformation to people? Is it something that talks about a specific experience? And I know this for sure, because when I was writing my book, I realized that many women of my faith, as child of God and children of God, many women of my faith, they understand, okay, I'm a woman, I'm supposed to do this, but I don't think they had an idea of who they are as a kingdom woman, what information that they have, how can they implement that information, what can they do in that aspect of being a woman, a kingdom woman at is. So you have to ask, yourself that question is, what solution am I bringing with this book? If I have this idea, what kind of solutions can I bring? The next one is identifying the problem that you can solve. Like I said, now that you understand that your story is more than enough, it's your experience, it's your transformation. Because, like I said, I realized that I lived this life and I have this knowledge. And not just also do I have this knowledge, I've experienced it and it's value. So why would I want to keep it to myself? That's why you always have to ask, okay, even though I experienced this, are there other people out there that are experiencing the same thing I experienced? Are there other people out there that have this transformation journey or wants this transformation that I want to share? So you always have to ask yourself this question, ask yourself constantly, what do people normally ask me? Oh, Anita, how do you pray? Oh, Anita, how have you been able to start this business? Oh, Anita, pay attention to the questions that normally people ask you. And if you know you have the solution to that, then you can share that in a book. Your answer should be is a seed, right? It's a powerful seed. It's a helpful book. That seed can be converted to a book. You have to understand that it's not just only an idea, it's a lifestyle, but also a powerful thing that you have in your hands. And you don't sleep on a powerful thing, you share that powerful thing. So when you know and you think about an idea and you're figuring out, okay, this topic is something I'm passionate about, this topic is something I have lived out, this topic is a solution to someone's problem. So that is the key element in understanding and finding an idea for your book, because you have to ask yourself that question. Even though I sleep at night and I think about this every time, even though I know that this thing, I've experienced it in my life and it's been transformative journey for me, even though that I've experienced this thing and my experiences can speak for itself, you want to make sure that it solves a problem. It's not just only about you, it's about the people that you want to reach. So if you want your audience to grab this book, as much as you're putting your experiences out there, make sure that it's something that is practical, realistic, but also solving a problem. So that's the third thing. You have to ask and identify the problem that you're solving. The fourth thing is that you can look at patterns in your life and work. For example, the conversations you have at work, the conversations in your career, social media posts you put on, your journaling book. What have you journaled? This one is key for me because my book, A Woman Like Rebecca, was from my journal, my Bible study notes. The Bible study notes I took, I realized, oh my God, this Bible study notes can transform someone's life. It's not just only, oh my God, the Bible study notes. As much as I took it down and I wrote it down, it's more than a Bible study notes. It's more than just writing a journal. So you need to ask yourself that question, as asking and repeating and asking, these clues in this journal, in this conversation, in this path, does it align to the book that I want to write? Does it align to the topic? Does it align to the idea? Does it align to the thoughts I always think of? Does it align to my experiences? And does it align to solving someone's problem? Not only could I not just stop thinking about women and how many women are not fulfilling purpose, many women don't know what they're doing. I also thought about, like, wow, I've experienced transformation in my own personal life that has made me become a better version of myself. And the third thing is, even though I've experienced this, I said, okay, does this solve a problem? Can this book actually solve a problem? And when I realized, okay, maybe it can solve a problem, the fourth thing was, okay, where are places that I've put notes about this topic? Because when you're passionate about something, you've definitely taken record of it. And that is the truth thing. So I had to learn, all of this aspect in writing my book and figuring out, I have information already stored up in my notes, in my conversations, and so much more. And uh, it brought forth a push to want to solve this problem. Because when I will have conversations with some guys, they're like, oh my God, you should share this with the women. You should share this. I'm like, okay, wow. I may have something here. So don't dismiss anything. Don't dismiss any phase. They are all important. And the last one is let the purpose pick the topic. In aspect of don't just write to express. Don't just write, oh, because I just want to impress people. Write to express. Don't just write to impress, write to express, and write to impact people. I know that now we live in a generation where everybody's like, oh, AI can write it for you in 20 minutes, in 30 days, or in one day you got your book. Understandable. I understand that. But I believe that there's authenticity in books that can draw people to you. And you have to understand that book is not just the end, it's the beginning. It's a path that leads you to various aspects. So you have to pick a topic that is intentional, this purposeful idea that will sustain my motivation and attract my true audience. It's not just only about just writing content, it's about reaching the right people and solving problems. And like I said, I've been giving an example with my own book. When I couldn't sleep, and I was just keep thinking about women that are children of God, that are kingdom women, and I know are sabotaging things, sabotaging life, sabotaging relationships, sabotaging, people and environments. It was a burden for me. I couldn't stop thinking about, like, I need to share content with women and help women grow. And when I thought about it, using the first step is thinking about it. The second step I went through was, oh my God, I've experienced this. I was once in a stage of being toxic and in a stage where I couldn't figure out what I was doing in my life. And I went through a process. I went through that process and it transformed my life. And I realized, oh my God, this is gold. This is not just an idea. This is something that will be more than enough. It's something that will bring transformation. And when I thought about that, going to the next stage of can it solve a problem, I realized that many issues and many women were struggling with this thing. I've had I've had feedbacks from my book of, oh my God, such a powerful book. I know more about myself than I knew before. And I've seen women with low self-esteem and so much more reaching out and asking the question like, wow, I did not know that I had this problem. So I said, oh wow, this is an issue with women. And then going to the fourth stage of, okay, now that I know that this is a solution to a problem, where can I pivot information from? Where have I, written this information? What are the platforms and the areas or patterns in my life where I've talked about this? And I realized that previous conversations I've had with friends and families, and even just in my notes, I realized that most of the times I had written the solution to this problem. I have written a message, a note, a conversation, remembering a conversation or a pattern that I've had in my life or in my work or in my business that has helped me discover my voice, but also discover the message I want to share with women. And I took that information and I said, okay, there are many people that have talked about me about women, kingdom women, how a woman should act, how a woman should be. So I said, okay, why don't I share this with them? And in doing that, I went to the last phase of creating something called A Woman Like Rebecca to help them. So, so always ask yourself this question as to, if I have this idea, now you know the 5 stages, you know what you can do to help you write this book better, you know what you have to write this book. Take the steps and implement it in your life. Implement it and ask yourself these 5 questions. And you'll be surprised how you will find an idea for your book, but not just also find an idea, you can start writing your book. And I hope that this video was helpful to you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.